Swatch just won't stop. They never know when to stop. So if you haven't heard, a couple days ago, Swatch and Blancpain released a new Scuba 50 Ocean of Storms, and this is a new variation of the 5-watch series that they released in the summer. Now, I'm not a total hater of this new model. I think it does add something that this collection desperately needed, but I just feel like this is another one of those examples of Swatch never knowing when to stop. And I think some of the concept doesn't fully make sense, but we'll get into that. Let's talk about what's good first, because I hate being a hater all the time. So in the summer, Swatch and Blancpain collaborated to make the fun and colorful Swatch version of the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, like they had done with the Omega Speedmaster. They leaned on Blancpain's unique dive watch heritage and made some pretty fun watches, each inspired by a different ocean and/or era of the 50 Fathoms. But one of the problems with the original releases was that there wasn't any boring options. You know? If you compare to, say, the Moon Swatch, they had all the funky colors, Mars, Venus, Earth, but there was still the nice, safe mission to the moon that looked almost like the traditional Speedmaster. But until now, the Scuba 50 Fathoms didn't really have that. They nailed it with the funky colors, but they were still missing that nice, safe, boring option, and that's what this model adds, which I think is brilliant. I am a staunch defender of the boring watch. So what is the purpose of this new one? Why is it called Ocean of Storms? This one is inspired by the remains of the moon's largest sea, Oceanus Procellarum. Mispronouncing things is my thing. Which covers about 10.5% of the lunar surface. So that's the whole gimmick with this one and how they're attempting to tie it to dive watch heritage and Blancpain, which is where they kind of start to lose me a little bit, but we'll get to that in a minute. Specification-wise, this is exactly the same as the other bioceramic Scuba 50s. So a 42.4mm case diameter, 14.4mm thickness, and a 48mm lug-to-lug, and the same basic dial layout. One notable change, the previous versions all had a fume finish on the dial, whereas this one has an evenly applied black color with a sunburst finish. This has 91 meters of water resistance, or 50 fathoms, and powering this model is the System 51, with a weird little sea slug and an image of a full moon. These come on a NATO strap made of recycled fishnets, nodding to Blancpain's commitment to ocean preservation. Okay, so that's the good stuff, but there's a few things I need to unpick with this one. So number one, I feel like I don't get it. Like, it's cool, and aesthetically, I'm on board, but it just feels like they made a kind of stupid backstory to try to justify making this and selling it. A dive watch and the moon? What? Were they like, we're going to take all the best of Omega and we're going to take all the best of Blancpain and squish it together and see if it works? And the same outstanding problems I had with the original still persist with this one. This remains a disposable plastic watch with a disposable movement, which I believe has an 18 months to 5-year expected lifespan, and it just seems so against the messaging of the 50 Fathoms to me. Blancpain has seriously dedicated themselves to ocean preservation, which through this watch is expressed through the recycled NATO straps. But then the product itself, the item, is a disposable piece of plastic. It has all the same logic of drinking from a venti plastic Starbucks cup with a paper straw. Does that make sense? I feel like that's not even a good enough analogy, because at least you can recycle the plastic cup. I don't know what you do with these when you're done. Now, I should say, I know this sounds crazy virtue signally, and it makes people feel all kinds of ways when you start talking about this stuff. I'm not the #1 eco person, and Blancpain has done way more than the Brit Pierce YouTube channel by way of conservation. So, you know, all I'm trying to say is that the messaging feels a bit mixed, and it's not fully in line with the 50 Fathoms. On the one hand, I love that the 50 Fathoms is being honored and celebrated, so this was originally released to commemorate the 70th anniversary of this model. And it's a seriously fantastic watch that more people should know about. But on the other hand, it just feels like a bit of a reach to me. I feel like Swatch has the same problem that we're seeing in cinema right now. There will be a film or a series that people really like, but then the movie studios will go too bananas on it, and they'll milk it too far, and then it isn't fun anymore. Like Marvel, Star Wars, actually Disney in general remaking all their old animated films into live action ones in the most milquetoast way possible. They will have this phenomenal IP, and then they'll push it as far as they can possibly push it to the point where we're like, we don't want it anymore. Like, we're good. We need to stop. And this is what they did to the Moon Swatch. It feels like a television show that should have ended 5 seasons ago. There's a beauty in knowing when something's run its course and to finish well. Leave the people wanting more. And I am worried they're about to do this exact same thing to the Scuba 50. Aesthetically, this new release, slam dunk. I love it. If I was in the market to buy one of these, this would be the one I'd be the most tempted by, this one or the Antarctic Ocean. Ooh, I can't believe I haven't said this yet. If you do like this one, it retails for $400 USD or 350 pounds. A bit steep in my opinion, but hey, the heart wants what the heart wants. But hey, these are just some of my thoughts on this new release. I would love to hear yours in those comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Come on now. And let's thank the gorgeous, fabulous, wonderful Pope tier patrons. You see these names on the screen right now? These are the most amazing people in the world. These are the gorgeous, fabulous, wonderful Pope tier patrons. Thank you all tier patrons. I mean, you're all amazing, but big special shout out to the Pope tier patrons. You keep the lights on here at Gringa HQ, and you're fantastic members of Gringaland. Thank you so much, guys.